Our first guest tonight, Senator Amy Klobuchar, pressed the FBI director on an FBI intelligence memo sent from the Norfolk, Virginia FBI office saying that there could be extreme violence at the Trump event on January 6th.
We did communicate that information in a timely fashion to the Capitol Police and MPD in not one, not two, but three different ways.
But do you think it's enough just to send an email?
Well, it's more than just an email, right? So first off, the email itself went to, I think there are maybe as many as 5 Capitol Police Task Force officers on the Joint Terrorism Task Force. And the whole point of the Joint Terrorism Task Force is for the chosen representatives of the partner agency to be there in the loop real time so that everybody's got the same information so that each agency can use that information to do what it needs to do. But in addition to the email, so belt and suspenders, it was verbally briefed, and it's hard sometimes for members of Congress to picture what these command post briefings are like, but picture the command post that we had stood up at the Washington field office, representatives of all these agencies in the room. People are coming up to the microphone one at a time saying, okay, now we're tracking this, we're seeing this, we don't know if it's real or not, but here's what we're seeing, and everybody's taking notes, and the whole idea is they're supposed to go back and pass it up their chain of command. And then third, in addition to that, it was put into the LEAP, the law enforcement portal, to make sure that everybody got it. So,
yes, explain that.
Having said that, I do not consider what happened on January 6th to be an acceptable result. And that's why we're looking so hard at figuring out how can the process be improved.
Leading off our discussion tonight is Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. She's a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator, are you satisfied with the FBI director's answer to your line of inquiry about the intelligence available to them before the attack on the Capitol?
I think he was straightforward. My issue, and he admitted this, they wish they could have done more. They wish that they could have infiltrated the Proud Boys in some way and had the information that was there, given that they've now arrested 20 members of that group. And so what I appreciated about his testimony today was how clear he was in, as you point out, defeating this crazy theory that somehow Antifa was in charge of this invasion, or as Ron Johnson said, this was a festive event. And all of these things, I think he was very good about making clear this was a coordinated attack, which when Senator Peters and I held our hearing last week with Senator Portman and Blunt, that we heard the same thing from those that were running the Capitol Police at the time and the Sergeant at Arms, coordinated attack run by white supremacist groups, extremists. And I think it's really important for people to understand that, because these guys in the Senate, Holly and Cruz and Ron Johnson, are still spewing misinformation. And that is not what we need right now. If we want to fix this and make sure we do the right thing by getting the police chief and everyone on board here so this never happens again, we can't have a bunch of lies out there. And I thought the FBI director was very good about disposing of those very clearly.
Senator, what is it like to have Senator Hawley across the room from you on a day like today in a hearing like this, when he is the senator who created the opportunity, and he created the opportunity by declaring that he was going to challenge the count of the electoral votes days before the count? It gave the people who attacked the Capitol plenty of time to calculate how much time the process would be slowed down by Senator Hawley's objections, and how much time they would have to pull off what ultimately became, clearly for some of them at least, a plot to attack the Capitol.
Yeah, I just keep thinking of those words. Have you no shame? Have you no humbleness about this? When you think about the fact that so many of them were spouting these theories, we were taking them on in the Senate chamber, and then literally minutes after I took on Senator Cruz and used those words, "It's a republic if we can have it," and pointed out that his misinformation and what he was saying and the lies that he was saying were actually contributing to people believing this, the Capitol was breached. And so that's what I keep thinking. On the other hand, I think something else, Lawrence, and that is that there are people, and we're going to have a hearing again tomorrow, who want to get to the bottom of this. Why in the world were there not plans made, of course, from the Capitol Police to have the the chief, to have the National Guard there ready to go. When given the intelligence that they knew by Friday and then additional intelligence the day before, when that call was made, and this is key, when we are going to have the head of the Washington, D.C. National Guard at this hearing tomorrow, when he was on the phone pleading to get the help and to get the authority to be able to go over to help out at the Capitol at 2:30, why did they wait until 2 hours later to give them the authority from the Defense Department? Well, we were in the middle of it, but everyone else was watching it on TV as these people were breaking through glass, carrying spears and poles, handcuffs, weapons, and pinning police officers who were shrieking between doors. Why was that authorization not given right away? So those are just a flavor of some of the questions that we're going to ask.
And that's going to be tomorrow. One more question about today's hearing. When Senator Hawley, in the manner of a criminal defense attorney, was questioning the FBI director about evidence collection and questioning him in a way that seemed to be objecting to in certain forms of evidence collection in this case, some people had to wonder, is Senator Hawley afraid of just how efficient the evidence collection might be and what it might find out about him?
Yeah, I don't know why you would pick this particular hearing to do that, when in fact, everyone is at least mouthing the words that they want to have the people prosecuted. And the FBI has made over hundreds of arrests. They've got hundreds of thousands of tips. These are major investigations. The first one was filed just Monday in Washington State against one of the leaders of the Proud Boys, in which they actually said in the multiple page indictment that, in fact, this was a coordinated effort. So there's more to come, and I would be much more interested in pushing them to keep gathering evidence. While we don't even have an attorney general in place yet, they are doing this. And so I think you certainly don't want to pull them back when we're trying to solve crimes, and that resulted, by the way, in deaths.
Senator Amy Klobuchar, thank you very much for leading us off tonight. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And joining our discussion now is Chuck Rosenberg. He's former U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. He's an MSNBC legal contributor and host of the podcast The Oath. And Chuck, with your experience working in the FBI as you did, what did you make of